Hey, hi, hello there, I'm DilyDaly or Daily, and this is the Rogue-lite Power Hour for, I don't know what day it is, to be honest. This might be Friday? I don't know. But, yeah, we're playing. I didn't look at the comments to see if anyone had selected anything for me to play now that we've got the max difficulty completion. So, I'm just gonna go to the end and just start. That's not what I meant to do. That's kind of a waste. Actually, I didn't look at my runes. Did I start unlocking something? I did. I already have that. Well, that's what I get for not paying attention. Okay, pumpkin patch. Well, what's the auto shoot? Man, there's a auto aim button. Is it triangle? Triangle. Ride the Ravenous curse. Anyway. So, I did not rewatch any of Castle like I said I was going to do in the Vampire Survivors video. However, I did decide that I was just going to talk about literally anything concerning Castle. Because after finishing the series, I have a lot of overall thoughts, particularly how I felt as it was coming to an end. There was a lot I was thinking about at the time. I was like, how do I put this? I was concerned that the episodic nature was going to cause problems with the overarching narratives coming to an end. Right? Because everything, I'm just going to say right now, this is going to get real spoilery, it's going to get real ranty. So, starting off with, anchor point, I guess. To start off with, the series as a whole got really messy, I guess, which was fine initially. Yeah, the corresponding series and story just kind of already completed in my mind before season 8. You know, season 7 wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great, and I kind of just didn't. I'll be honest, I don't remember much of season 7 because it all just kind of flowed into season 8. And so I want to open with, I think season 3, or no, I think season 5 was probably my favorite. I'll be honest, I'm a little hazy on what happened, but everything, actually it was season 6, I think it was the end of season 6 with 3XK. All of that, that entire arc with 3XK was, it had me so, how do I even, I was invested. It brought me back, because after season 3 or 4, I was kind of just watching to watch, and I didn't really care about seeing every episode. But then everything with 3XK had me reinvested. Let me get that early, because I'm going to do Curse again, because I already have the Raven doing Curse. And so I think I appreciate now toward the end just how well they capped off the seasons after season 6, because I know with how, well, not know, but considering how everything was going with season 6 going into season 7, it felt like they were dragging their feet a little bit, because Beckett and Castle already got married. They had a remarriage. They already had talks about having kids. Everything was happy. Freaking Beckett's killer was brought to justice, quote unquote. Like, there wasn't anything left, it felt like. Like, there was, but I don't think it was important, if that makes sense. Everything that the story had needed to explain or complete was already done, you know? Like I said, Beckett's mom's killer was brought to justice. Castle took down 3XK. Freaking, I think the biggest thing that was actually important in season 8 was Ryan, or Detective Ryan. What's his first name? I just know him as Ryan. I'm gonna be so mad. Start with an A? No. I just keep thinking Ryan Esposito. I'm like, that's not an explanation. But like Ryan having his kid, you know, because that was a big thing towards season 4, I think, was when Jenny got pregnant, and it was even more like the overarching relationship he had spanned since season 3, when he first met Jenny and everything. And when Beckett's lookalike for the movie had showed up, and Ryan had to propose, like that, honestly, that had me more invested than everything else. But I will say, episode to episode was still interesting going through season 8. Like the different homicide investigations, the mini plot lines of everything. It all stayed intriguing. There wasn't a moment where, but there was several moments where I'm like, I really don't want to keep watching. But it stayed interesting. I will say that I think I've gotten to the point where I can officially say that House is an 11. Because Castle was almost a 10. I won't lie to you. I almost gave it a 10. I'll be completely honest. I think I might do haste this run. I wasn't going to, but I think I might. Or not haste, the whirlwind sword. But yeah, I couldn't keep focus on Castle. Like, it was good and I was in it, but I felt like at some points it just got too long. Because House and Castle were both episodic, but there was an overarching themes and just character arcs. And you could definitely feel that with House, right? You can see the characters change and grow, and it was a lot more important to the story that these characters got better, or got worse, or changed. Whereas with Castle, the story arcs were very outside of the characters. Not to say they didn't grow or change, but it wasn't as important. The reactions the character had were more important to the story rather than the character changing, right? Beckett getting upset with Castle for Castle opening up her mom's murder, right? Or Beckett finding out that her mom's murderer was a now senator? Was he a senator at that point? Was he mayor? I don't remember what he was, if I'm being honest. But Bracken, like, her finding out was more important than her changing. Whereas with House, the characters were the plot. And I feel like I appreciate that way more, because it was way easier to care about these characters. Whereas with Castle, I felt like the characters were second to the plot, which seemed very opposite to what I wanted coming out of season 1. I think if you remember me talking about season 1 at the beginning, I was talking a lot about the characters. I was talking a lot about how these characters were being introduced to the viewer being me, and it definitely felt like that was being strayed away from as the series went on. It was more about completing the plot and less about the characters evolving and changing. And there's nothing really wrong with that. It's just, I felt like that puts way more pressure on the writers to make a good plot. Not to say that it was bad, but you have to admit it wasn't great. coming out of season 4. Like, season 6 is where it definitely plateaued, but season 4 was definitely the high point. And again, this is me talking as though I don't remember a lot of season 4. I know roughly how it ended. And I also just want to say, everything coming out of season 4, not season 4, everything coming out of Beckett's stint with the Attorney General's office, that was cool and that was interesting, but that whole plot line seemed very... I don't know, I couldn't really get myself to care. I think it was probably one of the best parts of the show, especially that opening episode. Episode 1 of the AG's office was fucking... I think that might have been season 5. Season 4. Yeah, that was the beginning of season 4. Because at the... Wait, no. Hang on. I was just thinking about this. The end of season 2. No, the end of season 3 is Montgomery dying. Beckett almost dying. That's season 3. The end of season 4 was Castle proposing. I was looking at this earlier, so I wouldn't have to do it during the episode. Or during the video. But the end of... The beginning... So that was the end of season 4, so the beginning of season 5. No, the end of season 4 is when she almost died. The beginning of season 5. End of season 5. How much happened? So, end of season 3. Montgomery. End of season 4. No, it's at the same time. After Montgomery almost dies, Beckett almost dies. It's the end of season 3. The end of season 4, Castle proposes. So the beginning of season 5. The beginning of season 5 was so strong. And I stand by that. The beginning of season 5, very strong. Everything with AG's office, Beckett learning how to deal with the political aspects of everything was so interesting to me. Because we still saw both sides to it. We had the best of both worlds. We had the best, we had a very interesting stint where Esposito and Ryan were still involved in the exploration of homicides and the episodic nature of everything. But then we still had the growing interest of Beckett into the political spectrum of the world, where people like Bracken kind of just get away with things. And I feel like that was a more interesting plotline to explore than what ended up happening. Because what ended up happening was Beckett just went back to being a detective and then became captain, which was cool. And that initial plotline pilot was really interesting with how she became captain and then she had to leave, and like that would have been a very interesting idea to continue with at the beginning of season 6, or no, it was the beginning of 7, I think. Yeah, beginning of 7. But I just didn't care. It's really hard to say that because I really did. I was really interested to see just how far Beckett would go with everything, because she was an extraordinarily homicide detective. She had leadership skills, she had the capability, she had she had the favor, she had everything, but it just didn't feel like it was going anywhere. And then when they tried changing it up, it's where it's like, oh, yeah, it's not going anywhere. We can all feel that. Let's put her in a position where everything that she had learned and earned up until this point is now taken away. She's not a detective. She's not a detective. She's not captain of the precinct. She's not any of these things. She's on the run. You know, she's on the run. She's hiding things from Castle. She's like, she has so much more important things going on than being detective and being captain. And I feel like that was so much more compelling as a story that I feel like just wasn't explored properly going into season 7 or season 8. And I feel like that was felt the most when season 8 ended. Because season 8 ended and it felt really jarring. The climax was there, the story was there, the twist was there, everything was so there. But to make Locksat, something we had been trying to discover for the last 3 seasons, including everything with Castle's disappearance and everything, and that was season 6 or season 5, I think. Like, even with all of that, it felt so uninteresting because of who they made Locksat out to be. It seemed like such a random twist, and I understand, or I think I know, that there was some stuff behind the scenes and whatever all. But putting that aside, just, I feel like where the story could have gone and where it was originally going are two very different things. And it could have been better. Which I feel like is so much worse than, like, what could have been is so much more compelling than what it was. Which feels so unfortunate to me. Because now I look at the series and I think the storylines, the characters, everything that was going for it just didn't land. And so I feel like the series as a whole got hurt by that a lot. So I'll say now my rating is not very decisive, because my rating system is very interesting. I think I talked about my rating system before when I was talking about House. And so I'll reiterate it now, in that a 5 means the show did everything it was supposed to, and that it ended, like, it had a beginning, middle, and end. It did everything it was supposed to in the genre. A 6 is I enjoyed it. 7 is I recommend it to people. And 8 is it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Or like, a 7 is I recommend it to people that enjoy that type of genre, that show, that style. An 8 is I really enjoyed it and recommended to people. A 9 is it did everything it was supposed to. There's not a whole lot I can nitpick about. 10 is it was perfect. And an 11 is it went above and beyond, which is what I gave House. And for this, I think I'm gonna say a 7. Or, yeah, 7. Because I thoroughly enjoyed it. There isn't a part of there, because I enjoyed Castle a lot, and anyone that likes crime, mysteries, and police dramas, I think is gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of it. But I also think, as a broader audience, it takes there's a certain type of person that can really enjoy that show as thoroughly and be so interested in that show. And that's not to say that's a bad thing. It's just that I don't think I'm that person. Personally, I think like I said, I'm giving it a 7. Because I'd recommend it to people to enjoy those style of shows. Crime, mystery, crime, and like police drama shows. Those are all people that like those shows are gonna like this show, and they're gonna like it as a lot more thoroughly. They're gonna give it a 10. They're gonna give it 9, and I enjoyed it enough to maybe give it a 9. But how it ended and how that's the other thing. Like I said, I give it a 5 if it lands, if it's got a bit of beginning, middle, and end. But the ending just stuck out to me as just kind of a problem. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It could have been better. And so for me, that takes points off. So at a base, it's starting at like a 4 or a 3. Because let's say it gets 1 point for having an amazing start. It gets another point for having a good middle. It gets another point for having a good ending. And then the other 2 points are for sticking in the genre and for, say, sticking in the genre, and another point for, I guess 2 points for sticking in the genre. Because if it doesn't stick right in the genre, but it's still enjoyable, and like maybe it shifted genres or something, I get 1 out of the 2 points. This one just did not stick the ending, and the middle, it was really starting to lose me, so it's losing 2 points on that. So instead of starting at 5, it starts at 3, and then you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I'd only give it another 4 points out of enjoyment and for just everything else involved. Again, that's not to say it was bad. That is not to say it's bad. It's just not as good as I think it probably could have been. Which again, I think is worse than it just actually being bad. And so, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys watch it and you enjoy it much more thoroughly and everything. But based on the consensus I saw, looking up reviews and everything online, which I probably shouldn't have done before making this video, or after I finished watching, probably should have had my own thoughts on it and then recorded this video and, you know, continue from there, so I'm unopinionated. But it's not like I wasn't gonna not hear about it. And so, again, I think Castle is a very good watch for those that really like that style of show. The crime, drama, comedy, police, everything, like, all of that is very good, very awesome, very fun. Nothing horrible. No real notes on all of that. It's just not as good as I wanted it to be, and not as good as I think it could have been. So a solid 7, recommend it if you like those things. And I think that's everything. Like, I'm gonna talk a little bit more as it comes to my mind about different episodes, different things. I really liked, after Castle and Becca got together, I think that was at the end of season 4. Let's see, 3 is when she almost died, 4 is when she got disbarred. Not disbarred. Well, yeah. when she got fired, or she quit technically, and then 5 is when they got married. So, or he proposed, and so I did like that whole stint in season 4, when they were hiding their relationship from Esposito and Ryan and the Force and everything. That was the precinct. That was funny. That had a lot of hilarity to it. It had me interested, because again, that was more character driven and interesting compared to kind of the rest of everything else. Not to say that it was bad. Again, I'm gonna say that a lot. I feel like you guys are gonna get sick of me saying it. What even is that rune I keep picking? Infinite piercing. Right. And I picked this. Exactly 1 summon. Alright. Now I'm pick. This is the chick that summons tentacles when she kills things, right? Am I an auto target? No, now I am. Tentacle. I think I can just sit here, wait for magnetism, sight, glare, and all that. Do my holy arts setup like usual. Start off with holy arts early. These tentacles are thumbnail material. Holy might. Just keep pushing the completion on the upgrades. Anyway, yeah. The premise for Beckett and Castle hiding their relationship after it started, that entire plot line had me... It wasn't interesting, but it was funny to watch. There was so much that they did that I don't think they could have done better in that whole stint. Like the Hampton strip, that was probably some of the funniest, like the funniest moments to me. Was like Ryan figuring out Castle and Beckett were together and hiding it from Esposito, only for Esposito to find out later when Castle got framed by 3XK. Like, I don't know why that felt so interesting to me. Like, thinking back on it, I don't think it was actually that good. But for whatever reason, I cared. I cared a lot, and I thought it was really funny. I think some of my favorite moments from the show was probably not even from Castle and Beckett, because their chemistry on screen, not their chemistry, but their on-screen presence was so forward with Castle and Beckett. They were flirting, or they were lying to each other, or they were telling the truth, or they were... Their chemistry was very outward, very forward. So when we had moments where Ryan or Esposito were being kind of ridiculous, kind of outside of their element, that felt more interesting to me. Like when Esposito, or like when the band guy died. That was also a really well created episode. Was what was it, like a band? Someone had died in the band. It was like the lead guitarist or something, who was gonna quit the band, whatever, the whole story with that. But when they were followed by the paparazzi crew, that whole, or like, no, the like live drama crew or whatever it was, that whole episode was so, I would say, well done. It was done very well. I don't know about well done, but it was done very well. And seeing Esposito outside of his element and being so extra felt so funny to me. It felt really weird, but it was also done very well. And it was done in such a way that I don't think it could have been done any differently. I feel like him being kind of a goofball was so outside of his normal element that it did very well as an on-screen presence. Whereas, like, Castle being very serious during that episode actually felt kind of odd. because he's used to the TV show, the paparazzi, he's used to all of that, and so it felt normal. He felt so normal, and Beckett also felt normal. She didn't feel different, which is why. And I felt like Castle and Beckett were like that almost all the time, where they were just themselves. Like, there was never a moment where they were outside of their element for any reason. Beckett was always the serious, hard-ass, like, hyper-focused detective, right? Castle was always the theorizing, funny, weird guy or like writer, weird guy. And to be fair, he wasn't like that all the time. During the 3XK stuff, he was very serious, very focused, very vigilant, and everything like that. But it still didn't feel out of character, because we had seen him get that focused. We had seen him be that diligent, like with Alexis when she was kidnapped. Also that whole twist when she got kidnapped, and it wasn't her friend that was also happened to be a very like special because of her parents. That twist was actually that had me. I wasn't expecting it because I had forgotten about it. I had forgotten about everything with that CIA op. What was it called? Linchpin? With Castle's CIA ex-girlfriend. Everything with that whole plotline, I had completely forgotten about what she had said about, like, Castle's dad being important and being kind of, like, high up in government totem pole or whatever. I had completely forgotten about that. And so when it was revealed that he was a secret he was an operative, he was a shadow agent. He didn't exist. Like that whole reveal was very like no shit, duh. Like why would it be anything else? But it also, I died. That's what I get for not having freeze. But yeah, like that whole reveal, I completely forgot about it. And so when it was revealed about Alexis being the one that was targeted for the kidnapping, was actually done very well. But it was also in that same episode, along with a couple of others, where we had seen Castle actually be serious, to just do things, and be, I guess, lack of a better term, locked in. Whereas seeing Ryan and Esposito do anything was always so different, because their characters had such an overarching presence outside of the detective work. Like, again, Ryan and Jenny, like, their whole relationship was such an interesting thing to see, and Esposito's on and off, on again, off again with Lainey, along with Esposito's just like whole demeanor. He had a whole backstory with his partner that faked his own death. Like, that whole thing was just so different. Like, we never saw anything like that with Castle and Beckett. Like, we did here and there with their individual characters, but like, because the show was so centered around them in the first place, it didn't feel like it actually meant anything aside from being a part of the main plotline. And so, again, seeing the characters being explored differently with Ryan and Esposito was... I always felt I cared more about that than I did about Castle and Beckett. And so that also might be why I didn't really care about Season 8 that much, Season 8 and 7, because they were so disconnected from everything happening with Locksat until the end. And so not having them involved as much felt like such a missed opportunity. Because it could have been much more like I haven't actually kept up with this show in a while, but it came to mind. It was a show called Scorpion. If you don't know that show, you've probably seen clips of it. I just realized, do I have Fanfire? I don't think I do. A show called Scorpion, which is a team of geniuses solving puzzles and being geniuses and defending the United States of potential world-ending threats or whatever, right? They're going against other geniuses or people that think so far outside the box that they're not even in the box anymore. Anyway, that show could have been that's how things could have been in season 7 and 8. Because with the whole Locksat thing, it was such... It felt interesting, but it felt like it could have been so much more than just an investigation Beckett was determined to solve on her own. Because it didn't feel that out there. It felt like just something she would do, you know? Because it didn't feel like her character had changed at all. Which, again, I don't mind, because the story wasn't that bad at that point. But then going into season 7 and 8, I was like, man, it just feels more of the same, and it was more unfortunate because the show pointed it out. The show pointed out a good 3 or 4 different times about how she hadn't changed. She can't live without the story. She can't live without... not the story. She can't live without the investigation, without the obsession. And I'm like, yeah, but I thought we were over that at this point. I thought she had gotten over it. I thought that was the whole point of her and the castle getting together. And, like, I thought, like, the reason she's no longer in the obsession is because she's with Castle now. Castle is the obsession. Like, I thought that was the point. But then, in season 7, it just was like, nah, it's Locksat. Nah, it was Bracken. Now Bracken's dead, so now the story's not over. And I was like, man, I really don't care. I care way more about what's going on with Ryan and Esposito, and then we never saw them. Until, like, Ryan and Jenny had their kid. And even then, especially then, we didn't see them, like, at all. Like, Ryan and Jenny having their kid just, like, put the nail in the coffin for any more story progression with Ryan. Which I guess makes sense, like, he's not gonna be around as much or whatever. But, like, we could have seen some more with that. Could have had Jenny be part of an investigation, witness a murder, or, like, something like that. Martha got like 4 episodes where she was important. Martha being Castle's mom, to be specific. But, like, I don't know, it just felt like the side characters were so wasted in favor of a story that just wasn't meaning anything. Because it was one thing when, like, early on in the series, season 4, I'm looking at you, where the plot was taking a front seat and the plot would take a back seat in favor of a more episodic nature, which was fine most of the time, but became a problem when the characters just weren't that interesting. Okay, he died. There we go. Maybe. I don't think I have the other thing. I don't have movement speed. I'll just lose dodge. This is way better. Anyway. And so, like, I don't know. I just really wish the side characters had a bigger impact. It wasn't until the end where, like, they meant anything, and then when they finally did mean something, it was for, like, an episode right at the end. And then for the greatest detective society thing with Locksat and the dude, I forgot his fucking name. That was so stupid. Like, why would you make it a new character that we had just met that, like, no one paid attention to. I get that was kind of the point. But then, like, why introduce him? Why not make him a big bad? Like maybe not Bracken, but, like, I don't know. Make it some fucking, I don't know, make it someone that Bracken had under his thumb. Because they technically did it with, what's his face? The fucking, what was his name? Gaynor? Connor? I don't know. The fucking lawyer. He was revealed to be, like, either Locksat or the right-hand guy at the very fucking last minute, which, that pissed me off. That entire ending sequence pissed me off so bad. Not even because it was, like, not even because it was bad. It was just, it felt so demeaning. Like, we couldn't have found a better way to cap this off. We had to be like, oh no, he wasn't actually dead. He was... Because if he was lying about the whole thing, right? About being Locksat, about all that shit, right? If he was lying. To cap it off with him just being in their apartment and shooting them, he could have done that when he first revealed himself. He could have done that when they showed up at the park. Like, everything felt so extra when he got revealed to be Locksat or whatever. Like, because it was a good point. Like, Castle made a good point where it's like, ooh, why, if they had an in-house incinerator, why would they send him? Why would they burn him in a car? Like, yeah. However, it also doesn't make sense why he would just let everything happen, why he would lead you all on a wild goose chase for a fucking car, unless to misdirect you and then fail. That's what makes me more upset. He failed. Like, you know what I mean? Not only did he, like, not do anything intelligent in the way he went about deciding to defeat Castle and Beckett, like how 3XK did. 3XK pulled them apart, figuratively and literally. Like, he picked apart Castle's psyche, like, every step of the way. The body double, the fake death, the Laney and Esposito doubles, he picked apart the entire team constantly. And then fucking this attorney dude breaks into Castle's apartment and shoots them? Because he's actually Locksat? Who faked his death to lead them on a wild goose chase and then fail? And then fail to complete his plan. Like, and I understand he failed because Ryan Esposito are good detectives and everything, and they put together through what Beckett was investigating, whatever. But, like, really, that's what we're going with. It was hard to swallow, to put it lightly. And then the ending to the 7 years later thing, I was like, no, I'm choosing to believe you died. You guys died. This is your heaven. This is what you wanted to happen. You know, you wanted your kids. You wanted happiness and all that. And, you know, like, live your life and everything. But, like, no, you guys died. He won. You guys failed. I was so annoyed during that ending. I was so annoyed I don't think I can thoroughly describe. I remember watching it, and I was kind of skipping. I was like, oh shit, he showed up. He tricked them. Oh, because at this point I was still invested. I didn't really look at the plot holes of everything, of that one episode. And I was like, oh shit, he's not dead. And then I saw them laying there, and I was like, okay, we're doing a little transition thing. And I skipped past the 7 years later thing, and I saw the empty apartment, and I was like, oh, and then like hearing Beckett saying the whole thing, like, oh, so I can be another one of your conquest cat, like that whole, her little monologue there. I'm like, oh my god, they died. Oh my god, it's the empty apartment. Oh my god. And then I see them eating at the dinner table. I'm like, oh, this is the heaven that they wanted. This is their dream. And I backed it up a little bit. So it's like, okay, let me just see this as a whole. Maybe I missed a bit of the monologue too. And then I saw it, and I saw 7 years later, and then I saw the meeting at the dinner table. I was like, no. No. They failed. Like, the dude killed them, and this is what, this is my headcanon, is they failed, they died, and they're experiencing heaven. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I looked at it. That's the only way I could look at it, personally. Like, you can, everyone can choose to believe what they want to believe and think what they want to think. But, like, there's no fucking way. There's no other way to look at that. In the moment or otherwise, you know what I mean? So, yeah, season 8, not my favorite, not a great experience. I will say, I did finally decide what I was going to watch, kind of. I looked through some of my Amazon Prime watch list because I figured I was trying to just look for a new show. And I was like, you know, I hadn't watched, like, they added some stuff on there. And I had this thought, what if I watch a show that's currently airing, you know, that's coming out week to week, because these videos kind of come out every week or so, and it'll get me to, like, I'll watch the show and I'll make the video, you know what I mean? It gives me a reason to make the video. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch a show. That show will be undisclosed, so that way I don't have to hold myself to watching whatever show I end up saying right now. And I can watch literally anything, and you guys wouldn't know what I was talking about. And then I'll talk about that one episode that I experienced. I mean, I'll tell you what the show is when I am at the top of the video, and then I'll just continue from there. But right this moment, I'm not going to tell you what the show is. So that way I can still have time to procrastinate and pick the show. Because I have a couple in mind, and I haven't settled which one I want it to be. Also, this is thumbnail material right here. So I'm going to see if I can get a Beyblade spin. Oh, I don't have the fire rate anymore. Oh, I can't stop shooting. If I stop shooting, I die. I'm also not looking up. Why am I not looking up? There we go. Big shot. We need damage. Okay, it's thumbnail material, and I'm just hoping I can just come back to this point and get that thumbnail, because I'm not able to stop. I'm just not able to stop. We're gonna grab that. I don't have any of the frost mage upgrades, I'm realizing. Anyway, so yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna watch one episode of a show, and then for the video, so like a Vampire Survivors 20 Minutes Live On, I'm going to talk about that episode. I'm going to rewatch that episode. I'm going to live and breathe that one episode multiple times, just so that way for the video I can dissect it pull it all together, and I can just talk about it. Okay, that's the plan. Again, I'm not gonna tell you what the show is. I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna edge you. I'm not gonna let you know what the show is until I've made the video. Because I kind of gave up on trying to keep together like a schedule or an idea of what I want to do. I don't know if you noticed, last two videos I haven't said what day it is that this Rogue-lite Power Hour is supposed to be up on. By the last two videos, I mean this one and the ball X pit video. I did not say at the top. This is Rogue-lite Power Hour 4, and I didn't say the day. I don't know if you noticed that, but I'm not going to say the day anymore. Because I don't know when these are going up. And I choose to believe that I don't know. I know when I've recorded them, I know which ones I've recorded when, but that doesn't really matter to you guys. It matters that they go up. So, here we are. That's the world we live in now. Because I want to give myself the opportunity and the time to make videos I want to make, putting aside stuff like Rogue-lite Power Hours. I want to make edited videos, I want to make edited clips and stuff. I'm just ranting now, I'm not even talking about the show. No. Yes. Light bullets. Die. Solid level ups. We're doing a whole lot of damage, I'm realizing. Is there anything else I can talk about? I don't think there is. The dispatch video. I think after this recording, I'm gonna work on that video, and I'm gonna actually stitch it all together and do little funny thingies or whatever. The only reason why I haven't yet is kind of just because I don't know, if I'm being honest. I just kind of let it sit for too long, and now I just haven't looked at it, if I'm being honest. So after I do this recording, I'll go through it. I'll figure it out. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I know part of the reason why I haven't looked at it is because DaVinci has crashed on me multiple times while trying to render videos, and I just don't want to deal with that. Which is also partly why I've waited so long to upload stuff. It's because I just don't want to deal with DaVinci crashing. You might be wondering, why is DaVinci crashing? Well, it's because I think my memory is fucked. Which is very unfortunate to say, due to the timing of the video and everything, is that RAM is super fucking expensive, so even if I wanted to fix it, I kinda can't, because RAM is too expensive. It's way too out of my budget to fix my RAM right now. Because the only way to fix it is by getting new RAM sticks, which again, I kinda can't do, because it's too expensive. And so, I was going to try to fix this like last month, 2 months ago, before this happened. But because I procrastinated on it, and I was like, oh, well, DaVinci's not a problem, it's not causing problems yet, well, now it is causing problems, and I don't have a fix. So I'll have to see where the chips fall on that one. But yeah, I'm due for new RAM. I got my PC a few years ago, and I was already having problems every now and then. I was having memory leak problems, just with games in general. I'd crash on Baldur's, and I later found out that was because I didn't FPS lock it. So now I FPS lock everything at 60, which is fine for me. I don't mind 60. I actually kind of prefer it sometimes, because it just makes everything run better with 60. I have a 144 Hz monitor, or 165 Hz monitor, and I prefer 60 frames. Because, to be honest, I don't even care about the 165 Hz that I have. Because all my videos are recorded in 60 frames per second anyway. DaVinci renders in 60 frames per second. So it doesn't matter that I play the game on more than 60 frames. And you might be thinking, or might be saying, DaVinci can render in more than 60? I'm like, yeah. That's if I want a video that's triple the size of the source recording. And so I decide, nah, I'm just gonna play the games I want to play in the way that is most comfortable. Runes, hold on. Doing these bottom ones. What's growth? 5th level game instead of soul heart, which, to be honest, I'm not really feeling. Maybe I'll do this one after I max it out. I'll switch to growth, because the soul hearts aren't feeling very strong. But we're doing a new character. We're doing Diamond, which I don't hate, but I don't really remember if I liked. She's got a lot of health though, so I can't be that upset. Let's do the tank play with the super, with a bunch of HP and stuff. What was it called? Titan? Maybe I do summons. Get the ghost friend right now. Look for the dragon egg. Have that be the thumbnail. It'd be cool if I did like only summons. Only summons, only summon upgrades. Probably would have been a lot easier if we did it with the Raven. Actually, isn't there another character that has summons like that? Maybe like the tentacles. I don't know. I need something strong. Ghost Wizard. By your fire rate. Just got this one. We'll do that. We are just gonna sit here. I think I'm also, to go back to Castle very quickly, I'm gonna be honest, I think I was kind of sick of the will they won't they after Season 3. Like, Season 1 was one thing where it's like, oh, you know, Castle is still playboy-y, hasn't really begun serious, hasn't grown up really at all, and it's just kind of, no, I was gonna do the dragon egg! Runs over, dead. Sometimes I really hate this controller. Not really this controller, but I hate how this controller works on this game. Spear, Scythe, Ghost. Dragon. Spear, Scythe, Ghost, Dragon. Is there any other summons? I do this one, so the other summons also do more damage. Thinking about watching Stranger Things. I guess I can talk about that. That's not really a video thing, but I'm probably gonna talk about it here and there since it'll be something I'm thinking about. I've just seen so many edits of the most recent season, and edits for like Steve. You know, the Steve edits have been popping off lately. You know, because Stranger Things is just back in the norm again because of the new season. So I was talking to my friends about it, and I was like, we should watch Stranger Things. And so now here we are, you know? Let's probably do dodge. Increase fire rate. And so we're thinking about marathoning it, because I know it's kind of weird to think about. I have up to 3 other people that have no idea, know anything about Stranger Things. Like, we know things about it. We know Demogorgon, we know Steve, we know Eleven, we know the names of some characters, and we know some actors. But like, that's not a whole lot of anything, you know? So we're gonna take the time to watch the show at some point soon-ish. We're trying to decide whether we watch it before the end of the finale, like before the finale of the season, or if we watch it after it all comes out. Yeah, that's kind of what's been happening. Ooh, thunder spawns with all these that are up right now. I wish I had the dragon. Dragon would be insane right now. But I messed up. What did I even pick over the dragon? Was it the fire rate thing over there? What's this? Yeah, reload rate and fire rate. That could have been the dragon. It could have been dragon. Dragon these balls. Anyway. I'm a little zoned in right now. I mean, let's recharge. Yeah, pick up area 8. We want that. I don't have freeze. Ah, you son of a bitch. Keep messing that up. I just have to keep going in the direction. Light bullets. Tiny. Tiny might be worth. You son of a bitch. I'm gonna be honest. This might end the run. I'm gonna be real. Oh, the scythe coming in clutch right there. Not great. Also not great. Not plastic. I think we go with this one. Pump of power. Bucket. How are you not dead? I'm doing 70 damage on my big shots. How are those guys not dying? I feel like sometimes the damage numbers in this game are just lying, you know? I don't feel like there's a full truth involved. They're gonna sit so far back, and they're also gonna take forever to die. Side first. Crazy. Okay, now we're in level up territory. What do I choose? Do I do holy? Do I do wind? Movement bonuses. I think we do wind. Maybe you should curse the 4 times bullet damage on the spin. We'll see how this pans. We're gonna do Dragon Egg. See if we live long enough to hatch it. Soul Drain. Oh, I could have had the summons thing, the one where they pulls. I wonder if that's every time. I wonder if the Dragon Egg and the Ghost are opposites to each other all the time. I wonder if that's just like when I picked it up dictates the location of the egg and the ghost. suckers. These summons about to go so crazy right now because I am not gonna be able to kill these guys. From, what was it, 2-3 videos ago? Double shot now? Hell no. Oh, you guys are not doing enough damage. Oh, thank God. Stop summoning in my way. Smite or the curse. I should have built the curse. I should have gotten double shot way earlier on. Because now if I get double shot, it's gonna fucking destroy all of my fucking... I don't have cryo, I don't have... Fuck. I don't have anger point, I don't have my +2 health. Like the chance for these guys to get frozen and not kill me is all I need right now. Especially when I can't look at everything. Being tiny and relying on range is so fucking unfortunate. We'll make it. Maybe. I think we deleted all the range guys. Now we just need to fucking outlive. Maybe kill that guy for level up. Frostbite, culling, yes. Trying not to just outright run into them, but like. We need these kills. leveling these summons. Oh no. Not this fucking guy. Need haste. Get some more damage on my sword. Gets me out of the way of these guys. Haste. Oh, we got both of them. Fuck! I need to target this guy. He's gonna summon more ranged guys, and it's gonna be a problem. Oh my god. Maybe. No. Now. So, this. Scythe Mastery. Oh god. Die. I'm that little bit. That fucking arrows just go up. What goes up must come down. Keep shooting. There we go. Frostbite. I think there's a thumbnail here to be had. I think I got it by then. Oh, why are these guys all still alive? Reaper rounds. Back to regular size. I'm avoiding double shot like the plague. So if I get double shot now, I lose the 170 damage I'm doing, and it's knocked down to like 100. Like, no, not even 100. I think it goes down to like 90 something. Keep shooting. Don't stop shooting. Now it gets more damage based on my movement speed, if I remember correctly. I don't know why I didn't bother eating it. Probably should have. I don't have anger point. Could have. could just run for a minute. That's the bitch way to get through this. Anchor point. Even with my dodge percent lowered, I'm still dodging these motherfuckers. Dodge! Okay, I didn't dodge that one. But now I have anchor point. Do... damage. Seconds. Wonder, can I just sit here? I'm not going to. I'll sit still for 5 seconds. Ooh, the range. Okay, I didn't fully sit still, and I probably would have lived, but I panicked. But that is the end of the Rogue-lite Power Hour for whatever fucking day it is. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my castle rant and my review, I guess is what I did, or rant review. Again, to just recap, I enjoyed the show. I recommend it if you enjoy police investigative dramas and stuff. But I don't feel like it stuck the landing in the end. I talked a lot of spoilers. Sorry about that. But that will be the end of this Rogue-lite Power Hour. So again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Please, thank you for sticking it out all the way through the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. And I will see you guys in the next one.